and welcome back to my channel. So I have a little bit of a controversial video today, but it is a video I've been wanting to make for a little while, and I think it's really important just to be honest and authentic and just myself and hopefully help you guys, which is why I wanted to make this video. And that is a video about cosmetic surgery or plastic surgery or whatever you want to call it. Now, a little quick disclaimer. If you do not like plastic surgery, if you have a negative opinion on plastic surgery, maybe this video is not for you, because this video is just to share my personal experience with my body and also hopefully help people who have maybe some questions or a little bit curious. And yeah, I just want to share the mistakes that I maybe made in the past so that someone hopefully doesn't make that in the future. But yeah, if this video is not your cup of tea, I completely understand, but if you do like it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you are new here, guys, hit that and if you are new here, guys, hit that subscribe, and let's get started with today's video. So, I wanted to talk about plastic surgery and cosmetic surgery, so fillers, Botox, boobs, bums, you name it. I want to talk about it today, and I want to be honest and tell you what I have actually had done and just the procedures, the cost, things I regret, would I change things, that kind of tea today. So yeah, I've been getting cosmetic surgery maybe 4 or 5 years if I'm being honest. It was way before YouTube, and the very first thing that I decided to get done was my lips. I did have braces, and actually that is kind of considered cosmetic in some circumstances. I did have braces, so I obviously had dental work done, but the first kind of like filler I had done was my lips. And I had this done because I've always had an insecurity about my lips. And I think that's the one thing that drives people to maybe make a body modification or make a change to their body, is often an insecurity. And to some people, someone might have said my lips were fine, but for me it was something that I was a little bit insecure about, and I avoided smiling for that reason. So my lips were a little bit wonky, which I've spoken about in the past, and I just basically wanted to correct that. So I'm going to try and find a photo that was like pre-lip filler. Mind you, please take into consideration I'm very young in this photo. So pre-lip filler, and then the first time I had them done, I also have a picture, which I'll pop it up. And I was so happy with the results. They were like so full and so lovely. And I think at the time I only had maybe 1/2 ml or 1 ml. Now most syringes come in 1 ml, so you'll often pay for the ml, but you can opt to get like 1/2 ml or 0.7 of a ml, depending on what your cosmetic surgeon or person who is putting in the filler thinks you should get, based off the look that you want to get, you know what I mean? So I've had up to 1 ml put in my lips, but I've never had more than that. I do tend to get my lips done maybe once a year. As soon as I notice the filler starts to come out of them and I don't know, I just notice it in my upper lip, I then decide to get it topped up. How often should you get filler completely depends on your body, because basically your body will break down the filler at a different rate to someone else's. So just because someone else gets 2 ml does not mean you should get 2 ml, because it will look completely different, especially with the lips that you already have. So yeah, I just kind of go off of feeling. I kind of know when I want to get it done. If I just kind of notice my smile gets a little bit wonky again, I just notice it and I feel maybe a little bit insecure, I'll get it topped up, and it's literally maybe like once a year, so not that often actually. The type of lip filler that I get is called Juvederm, which is a super reputable filler, I guess, on the market. You can also get Juvederm for your cheeks and stuff, which is something we'll cover. But there's lots of different fillers, so definitely talk to the nurse that is doing the procedure for you, and they'll be able to advise you on the different kinds of fillers. And you can obviously do your research yourself, but really, when choosing a nurse, make sure they are insured. This is one thing. I like to go to sort of medical practices often to get it done, but you can go to people's homes and things like that, but make sure they have insurance and make sure they have a medical background. The reason I wanted to make this video now is because I actually just had my lips done maybe 2 weeks ago, so they're quite fresh, just so you guys can see. I literally had 1 ml put in them, I think, so not that much, but I already feel so much more confident and my lips are definitely more symmetrical. when I smile. But I went to Transform Medical here in London. They actually have clinics all over the UK, and the reason I went to them is because they are a reputable cosmetic surgery practice that do multiple kinds of surgeries. So obviously the surgeons they had would be quite good. I just felt very safe with going there, and I went to see Dr. Bruno. Perfecto. Dr. Bruno, making me beautiful. I have in the past gone to multiple different people, and this is a mistake that I want to talk about. It is all well and good going to different people so long as they know what they're doing, but I think it's important. It's the same when you go to a hairdresser's. They get to know what you like, they get to know your hair, they know what works for you. So I think it is important maybe not to jump around as much as I have, because then when I go to a new surgeon, they don't really know what the last person has done, and they kind of have to like figure it out. A little bit of a horror story. I did one time go and get my lips done, and I just did not feel comfortable with this place. I went to somewhere that was a little bit cheaper, and I just knew the nurse was not confident when doing it. She was really shaky. I was left with so many bruises. It was absolutely awful. And although my lips weren't bad, it was definitely a lot more painful than it needed to be. And obviously I was left with bruises all over my face. Now, bruising is completely normal, and just it depends on your body. It depends how fast you bruise. Say I've had my lips done 5 or 6 times. I've bruised maybe every other time. So yeah, it's not that much, but bruising is something that can happen and is not something to worry about. There's things like arnica that you can take to help with the bruising. And in terms of the pain, when they're good, it doesn't hurt as much, you know what I mean? Because they know what they're doing, they've done it lots and lots of times. It sort of feels like, you know when you're just getting a needle in your arm to give blood, like that sharp, oh, but it's obviously repeated multiple times because they go across the lip, they can go into the lip. So yeah, it's just like a really sharp pinch, scratch, but they do put numbing cream on your lips. So that is my lips. Always been really honest about it. I've shared videos and stuff in the past. And yeah, I just wanted you guys to know like that I have had them done recently, and it's not something I'm embarrassed about. It's actually something I'm quite proud of because I've been able to invest in my happiness and myself. So if you are considering doing it and you're worried what people will think, you know, it's your choice for your body. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about was Botox. So I have had Botox twice. And the reason I had this was something I always knew I probably would need. I didn't think I would maybe get it done so young. I'm 24. Actually, Botox is something I'm really happy I have done because I just like how it makes my face look. It makes my makeup go on a lot smoother. I don't know, I just look a little bit more glowy. And that's just my personal experience with Botox. I only have had it here in my forehead and a little bit here because as a child and even now I frown really bad, and my mom used to always make a joke being like, when you're older you're gonna need Botox, because I would have 2 lines here, and I started to notice they were becoming a lot more prominent and they almost weren't leaving my face. Like even when I had makeup on, I would take a photo and I would see the lines. So I knew I wanted to try Botox. So I tried it about, yeah, it was probably about 1.5 years ago. Really, really liked it, loved how it made me look, but then of course everything wears off over time, and I noticed my face was becoming a lot more expressive and that it kind of had worn off in my forehead. So when I went to see Dr. Bruno at Transform to get my lips done, he also said, oh, have you had Botox? And I was like, actually, I'd really, really like to get that done again. So this is me raising my eyebrows. So as you can see, I do have a little bit of movement here. I can move my eyebrows, but it just doesn't crease here. But as you can see, I didn't get it put here because, you know, I'm still young. I still want to be like, woo, and I don't want my forehead to be like, bleh. So I did get it here, and this is me frowning. It doesn't move, and I really, really like that. So I do think I definitely will continue to get Botox. I kind of, with filler and with Botox, I tend to wait until I've noticed it's kind of gone, and then I get it done again. It's not like I regularly say, oh, 6 months is up, time to get some Botox. It's like with being hungry. You kind of listen to hunger signals and you eat when you're hungry. You don't just like force feed yourself, you know what I mean? So it's a similar thing I do with my face and with filler and Botox. I kind of get a feeling, I kind of know when I need it. So yeah, I've had Botox twice. Now the thing that I did have done that I haven't had done before, and that was a little bit of cheek filler. I had a thing called Juvederm put in my cheeks, and there's different kinds of Juvederm. Dr. Bruno was explaining this to me, and this is really important because you need to know what's being put in your face. Jeffree Star, which is a huge YouTuber, spoke about a botched surgery because he had something put in his lips that he didn't know what it was. I actually think they put like silicone in there, which is what they put into your boobs, into his lips. So it's really important to know what's being put into your face first, and often you'll fill out a medical form and it'll say the filler and stuff that's gone in there, which I really like. So I did have a little bit of Juvederm put into my cheeks recently. And I guess I was probably most nervous about this one because it wasn't like there was anything wrong with my cheeks before, whereas I felt like there was something wrong with my lips, which kind of, I had an incentive to get them changed. But with my cheeks, I didn't really have anything wrong with them, but it was something I wanted to try. And if you guys follow me, if you're not new here, if you are new, hey, welcome. But if you follow me, you will know I compete in bodybuilding competitions. So I tend to get very lean for periods of time. And when I'm lean, that's what my face is like because I don't have as much fat on my face, right? So I do have very prominent cheekbones when I'm lean. But right now, I'm not so lean. I'm just living my life. I'm enjoying life. And so my face is a little bit fuller, right? Which is completely fine. But I noticed I had kind of like lost that definition in my cheekbones, which I quite liked when I was on prep because I liked having that kind of almost like contour without having to put on contour. And so I did decide when I went to see Dr. Bruno that I would get a little bit of Juvederm put into my cheeks. Honestly, not a lot. Like you wouldn't really notice it if I didn't kind of point it out. And I think that's why I just wanted to be honest and authentic and tell you, like honestly, I don't notice much of a difference. I think once I put on makeup and I do put on a bit of contour, I do see it, but I honestly don't really notice that much difference day to day. So I definitely would get it again. I'd probably get more just because that's just a look that I like. I like high cheekbones, but it's not to say I would go and get jaw filler because one, I don't want jaw filler, and it, you know, just because someone else gets something doesn't mean you need to get something. I wouldn't get a nose job, you know, unless it was like for a medical reason. And so I think it's important when choosing what cosmetic surgery to get, like don't just get something because you see someone else getting something or because it's a trend. Get it for you. And that's the really important thing, and the message that I want to get across is when you make a decision for you, it is for you and not for anyone else. Like my filler and my Botox does not affect anyone but myself, and if someone has an opinion on it, that's their problem. I'm like, cool, you keep your opinion to yourself because it's nothing got to do with me. And so I think that's a really important thing to remember because people reached out to me and stuff when I was open about getting my boob job, and were like, what did people around you say? Like, what did your mom think? Like, what did your boyfriend think? It never crossed my mind. Like, obviously I'm considerate for their emotions, but it didn't cross my mind to think, oh, I'm not gonna get that because someone around me doesn't want me to get it. Of course, your parents are gonna want you to be the way you are, the way they created you, because, you know, you're theirs, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you are still an independent person, and you're the person who lives in your body every day. So it is important to remember that, and you know, if people love you, they'll respect your decision in that sense, and especially if you are paying for it. And this is the thing, people on the internet have all these opinions about cosmetic surgery. When I was really open about my boob job videos, I'll leave them linked below, honestly, I did get hate, you know? I was like, hun, it's not your money. It's not your body. So why does it matter to you? You know what I mean? So I think if you take something from this, just, you are thinking about something, please remember that. But moving on to the boobs, the girls, let's just flash you. So I got boobs. It's no secret, it's nothing I've ever tried to hide. I think if I tried to hide it, like I didn't really have boobs before. Insert photo of my pre and post boob. Like I didn't have boobs before, so if I just randomly showed up on the internet with these boobs and pretended that I just like magically grew them overnight or like did way too many chest presses, like fake news, you know what I mean? So I did get boobs. If you guys do want a more in-depth updated boob video, super happy to make that, kind of go over things a lot better than I did before because I was new to YouTube. I didn't really know what I was talking about. But yeah, I will happily make that video if you guys do want it. But I did have my boobs done 2 years ago in February. Boobs are a lot more expensive than filler. Filler can range from anything from like 100 to 500. It depends how much filler you're getting put in your face, and also it depends on the surgery cost, like where you're going, things like that. It's something to take into consideration, like where you get your filler done in terms of like geographically. If you go to a big city like London or New York or LA, do you know they're gonna probably charge more just like houses, right? Because they're paying rent on the premises. So something to take into consideration. This is a lot cheaper and does not last as long as this. So boobs cost anywhere upwards from like 2,000 to like 10,000 pounds. Again, where you go, what you get. Mine were in the middle. In the middle. I got them done in London. And do I regret them? Absolutely not. I'll definitely talk about it if you guys want me to, about like going through it and the journey in the past 2 years and stuff, but it is not something I regret, and it's not something I regret sharing either. It definitely was the most painful of everything because it's a full-on surgery with a lot of recovery time, whereas when you get filler, like, you're good to go. People get it done on their lunch breaks. With boobs, I had to take weeks off training. With filler and with Botox, you only have to take 24 hours off training because you need to kind of let everything settle, let things chill, especially if you've got bruising. You don't want to be causing more inflammation in the body by training hard. So they do say don't train for 24 hours, whereas with boobs, there's obviously a lot of recovery time. So weeks off training, and that's something to take into consideration. But that is all the surgery that I have personally had done. I don't have any butt implants, haven't had liposuction or anything like that. For me, I've had the things done that I knew I couldn't physically really change myself. I am happy to hip thrust to the grave if it makes my booty grow, and fat loss and things like that I know can be achieved through diet and healthy lifestyle, but something like growing bigger lips isn't something that you can do yourself, which is why I've chosen to have it done, and which is why I just kind of wanted to be honest and make this video for you guys today. And same with boobs, like, it is a big decision that I don't want you guys to think that surgery is nothing and it's just something you could take lightly. Like, it's something you should really think about, really research, like go and speak to different nurses, practitioners, surgeons, because often they'll offer you a free consultation. I sort of like shopped around for my boobs. I went to different surgeons, the way you go for different shops to buy a coat. I got to know what they're about. I wanted to kind of find the place that suited me. And that's a really important thing, and it's the same with filler. Like, I wanted to find somewhere that I felt comfortable, and I'm so happy I found Dr. Bruno at Transform because he's great, and I definitely will go back and see him whenever I feel like it, you know what I mean? And it's just something that I think is important that we talk about online, that we shouldn't like make these things like a taboo thing and like this big secret. Like, it's for me, it's no different from dyeing my hair, and I've been doing this since the age of 13 because, you know, I can't take this dye out myself right now, just the way I can't take lip filler out, just the way I can't take my eyelash extensions off. Like, they're on me. It's not like makeup that you can just wipe off. You shouldn't just rush a decision, but then you shouldn't not make the decision for you based off someone else's opinions, which is why I wanted to talk about it. Just be open, honest with you guys, just the way I would like you guys to be open and honest with people around you, and just give you a little bit of confidence in yourself. No, you don't need surgery. You don't need anything, but you can have it if you want to. And I just wanted to be honest and share with you guys what I had, so I was never like hiding anything from you guys and pretending I just like naturally had beautiful lips when personally I didn't think I did. But yeah, that is all for today's video. I know it's a little bit of a long one. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like I said, do give it a thumbs up if you did, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe. I would love for you to stick around for like fitness, lifestyle, just like my life, really. I'd love to have you here. It's honestly the coolest thing to be able to share this kind of stuff with you. Like, the amount of women that I connected with through sharing my breast augmentation, just like to this day, is absolutely incredible, which makes everything worth it. So I really appreciate you guys. Love you guys so much. Hope you have an amazing day, and any questions, pop them down below. Always be honest, always help you where I can. Bye guys. Joby, it's good.
It is.
Yeah, it's good though.
Yeah?
You can like tie it to things. So you could like tie it on that.
Ah,
yeah.
That's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They look like anal beads.
Like an alien thing.